Hello, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept Podcast, where I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. How you all doing today, man? I hope you're doing well. I hope mentally you feeling sound, mentally you feeling stable. Um, Man, for a long time, man, the mental state of our people has been fucked up. You know what I mean? The mental state of our people has been just in ruins because we dealing with things on so many levels that we can't comprehend. You know, it's yeah, it's the pressure of okay, you know, my concept is always that we live in three realms at one time, right? The physical, the mental, and the spiritual. You know what I mean? Where the physical and where the physical realm and the spiritual realm connect is in the mind, right? In your mind and in the physical realm a lot of times too, and because it's an intricate thing. Right now, I'm diving into knowledge about different beings being activated at different times of day. Like you got moon beings that is allowed to dwell and do works at nighttime, right? And then you got sun beings that's allowed to move about and do work in the daytime. So you got these two beings moving around, and we don't really realize that yeah, we live on this physical earth, but this physical earth existed long before us. This physical earth that we live on right now has existed far, far before we ever was incarnated or reincarnated into this life that we live in today. You know, I did research that proved to me and to many other people, you know what I mean, to people who's in the know that a lot of your life story is predicated upon the date, the time, your astral life, all that stuff is predicated upon your date of birth, the day that you came about, came through that womb came through that womb onto this earth, man, into this life that you live. Thus your life began in this body. I want to see what this button is, because oh, okay. It's a little script button. They add different features and stuff like that to this thing. Before it was like hand gestures and things like that I could do. I'm just getting used to the platform, still getting used to, doing my podcast. I'm damn near on my fifth season of God Concept Podcast. And to tell you the truth, is like I'm still new to this. I'm still new to this. I'm still getting comfortable with doing this. I didn't grow up in front of a camera or a TV screen or anything like that to really bump around with, or it's like, you know, um, I'm wearing multiple hats at one time. I'm trying to, you know, live my life, do that thing, and then, do this, which is my hobby and something that I'm, cultivating and creating, right? And I'm doing all this at one time, and it's just like, I'm trying to be as modest as possible, right? And do what I got to do because I'm going through a lot of shit. And at the same time, I know that I want to feel a certain way and I want to be a certain way, but I can't be that way because it's so much predicated upon the things that I do and the moves that I make, right? So I'm trying to take my time, but at the same time, move as quickly as possible because it's a lot of things going on, man. And yeah, that's why I come up with these topics, like moving in and out of these different realms that you living in at one time, and understand that you got things that's able to play with you, beings that's able to move in and out of your body, like the blood that flows through your veins. You know what I mean? These beings, you can't see them. You know what I mean? And we was taught that they was made of a smokeless fire, which is electricity, and electricity is all around us. We play with a lot of elements every day. We say a lot of things every day, but are you really sure of the things that you're saying? Are you really sure of the elements that you're playing with on a daily basis? on a daily basis, you're intaking information that may be good for some, but it's not good for all. You know what I mean? For many. You know what I mean? You have to be wary of the things that you intake on a daily basis. You know, the people that you talk to, the it's it's very intricate. Like if you're trying to be in a creative state of mind, right? I can't sit up here and be around a bunch of people and you know talk about things that don't pertain to what I'm trying to do. To some that might seem like you being like standoffish or you know what I mean, but no, it's just I got more on my plate than you may have. Or I got something that I have in my mind that I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to express something more. You know what I mean? And it's like, just the thought of whatever it is that you talk about is taken away from that. But man, that mental space is being affected by different beings and affected by you too, because you are in yourself a being. You're interacting with voices in your mind, right? I'm witnessing this type of thing. That's why I'm talking about this so heavily, right? This mental realm, right? Because I'm witnessing this thing and I'm seeing people deal with voices and deal with mental thing. I mean, when they're dealing with that, it affects everybody. You know what I mean? It affects that perception of everybody. It affects this and that. You know, it's different when a person could deal with that type of thing and they're allowed to deal with that in a comfortable, safe space for them. But when you interject a mental person, right, into society with people who don't have the same mental afflictions or whatever, that's causing chaos. See what I'm saying? That's causing chaos. You don't know what's on this, person's mind or this or that, right? And I'm the type of person that I'll see these mental breakdowns in people, right? And you kind of want to say something that'll trigger them to adapt a different thought pattern, if you will, right? Because sometimes it's just about, the conversations that you have. You might have been isolated, like in solitude for too long, right? Where you don't have nobody to talk to or no outlet. You know what I mean? And that plays with you. You start to develop, not even develop. You start to discover, right? Because yeah, they say that kids make up imaginary friends and things like that, right? And that's all well and good. You know what I mean? I hear that. But what if those imaginary friends are just um, voices that they discover, entities that they discover, beings that they discover that's there already, right? Probably not within them, because I'm not going to say they're possessed and all this just because they can hear the voice. But if a being is close enough to you, I mean, close enough to you meaning as if this being could just pop in and out of you, because beings and jinns, in the Islamic faith, they call them jinns and shaitan, right? I guess in Christianity, they would call them like demons or evil spirits or whatever you want to call it. But these beings, because there are beings, whether they're angelic or demonic, right? These beings, they can move in and out, right? Of inanimate objects and people as well. And after a while, they can groom a person. I talked about that on a previous episode too. That's crazy because I didn't even think about that. But yeah, you can be groomed by a demonic being or by an angelic being. You can be groomed by that being. You know what I mean? Because as you live, you don't even know. Damn, this is deep because I just came to this. When you're born, you don't know which soul you possess, right? There may be somebody who knows, right? Somebody who got the information, right? Based on whatever knowledge they possess. But you don't know that. So you're being groomed from the inside out by your own soul to become who it is that you're supposed to be, who it is that soul is you know what I mean, is metamorphosizing into. You know what I mean? You have that calling. Everybody has that calling. It's not even a calling where it's just a growth. Calling. It comes natural from the growth of you spiritually, right? You spiritually is causing a natural growth of what's inside you to come out. So many of us don't choose the callings or the path that we're on or our journey in life. It just it metamorphosizes from the inside out, from our soul, you know, being groomed. Let your soul groom you. Don't be groomed by an evil entity or an outside entity or outside being. Just like many people are being groomed by social media, music, TV, radio, fucking, I know it's the same thing, but by the dumbass uncles or their dumbass aunts or their mom and dad who don't know no better. You're being groomed to be a certain type of way. You see some children, who act just like their mother or father, and they don't even have their mother or father's problems on their table. I mean, in the way they do, but it's like they're too young to adapt that type of attitude towards the world, especially if the mother or father has a negative attitude. Or if they have no mother or father, it'll be somebody that they see on TV or their favorite artist that they want to be like or whomever. But after a while, that fades away. Or maybe it never does with some people who's mentally ill. But it's supposed to fade away because you're supposed to be naturally you. You have a calling, you have things that you want to do. If you never been you, then you live in a lie. You living outside of what you're supposed to be, outside of what you're supposed to do with your life, being groomed by different beings. And it's once you understand that, once you can lay that chart out for a lot of people. Once you can lay that chart out there for a lot of people, especially for people with mental illness and things like this, if you can lay that chart out for them and let them understand that there's different entities all around here and there's this and spiritual, you know what I mean? Not saying it's a religious thing because, I got a thing about religion too written here. Um, but not that it's a religious thing, it's more of a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? It's more of a you trying to come out of a let's picture this world being like an eggshell, right? An eggshell of all different things and this and that, and you trying to come out of this eggshell and just be you. You don't want any tarnishes. You want to come out being authentically the way that you were supposed to be. You know what I mean? Who the creator intended you to be, without man's own, you know, without any beings, any demon or and you know what I mean? I mean, some people look at angels like, yeah, angels are good, they protect you, but without any, because angels protect. Demons hinder in a lot of ways, and you got the angels that protect. So you got, you know what I mean? You got, and don't get me, I said this too. You have good angels and bad angels, evil angels and good angels. Well, not evil, but good and evil and everything, right? So even demons can do some good for you. Even angels can do some bad for you. You know what I mean? An angel will allow you to get into a bad position so they can help you up out of it, right? Possibly, if that's a thing, if you believe in that, right? And a demon will do the same thing. A demon will help you out of a bad situation just to have you do worse things than you already doing. That's the game of a demon, right? To sell your soul, to do that entity's bidding, right, on this earth, right? If that entity don't have a physical body to do certain things, it has to attach itself to a physical being to do physical things, physical harm, right? So that's what demons do. They'll reward you. They'll find other demonic people who are already being groomed by demons, because demons could communicate with each other without you knowing it. The demon inside them is communicating with the demon inside you. And that demon inside them will help the demon inside you. And you looking at it like, oh, this my brother, this my man, he helping me out. But for real, there's just two demons helping each other. And you don't even realize it. You don't realize it. You don't see what's really going on. But that's just two demons helping each other push the agenda. You know what I mean? Just like, angelic beings could see another person or another with an angelic, you know what I mean? They help each other. You know what I mean? You got now demonic beings and angelic beings could sense that in one another. That's why you have somebody looking at you from afar and you don't understand their intent, this or that. They trying to figure out an angle to get to you because they trying to derail your shit, especially if they demonic. If they got a demonic being attached to them, a demonic entity, they'll try to derail the work of somebody who have an angelic being attached to them. They'll try to derail your shit. Some people have both. Some people work with both. Some people just don't fucking know. Like some people just don't know. Some people got multiple entities playing because you can be tampered with by multiple entities at one time. You know, at one time you can be tampered with by multiple entities. So you got to be careful, even of your own thoughts. You know what I mean? You got to be careful of the thoughts that you think when you're looking in somebody's direction, when you're looking at somebody. I don't think negatively, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this why, right? If you look at me, I know I could feel what you're thinking, whether it's negative, positive. I don't care if you got a front up face. I can tell whether you're thinking some negative shit, some positive shit, some homosexual shit, because you gotta watch out for that type of shit nowadays. You got motherfucking gay demons, you know what I mean? Homosexual demons, pedophile demons, and they, you know what I mean? You got all types of demons. There's all types of beings, all type of demons and whatever. You know what I mean? Some of them is that fucking wicked, and they work through you, and you'll think that you're the sick one, but for real, you got to push those unseen entities, those unseen beings out your motherfucking life, out your mind, out your thought. You got to push all of that away. You know, our government knows about all this. Our government knows about all of this. Everything that I'm saying now, that I'm conveying on my podcast, the government knows all of this. The government works with angelic beings. The government work with demonic beings as well. Beings from other worlds and shit like that. Like the Epstein files. This is something I wrote about on my, the Epstein files. They released 30,000 motherfucking files of Epstein's information, right? That wasn't even all the files. Where's the deleted files? That's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see the deleted files. If it's 30,000 Epstein files, right? If it's 30,000 files, right, of Epstein information or whomever Epstein dealt with or his victims and the assailants, right? The ones who participated in these masquerade balls that these motherfuckers had, and I do mean balls. It's like goddamn. Like they, if it's 30,000 files that they released, it was probably 90,000 or 100,000 to begin with, or more or less. I don't know. I'm not in the loop, but I'm just speculating and meditating on it. And I was thinking about it, man. Everybody said that Epstein's probably still alive. You got a lot of guys joking about Epstein still being alive. Where is Epstein? And they sent him to a secret island. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you downright scientifically. Epstein had a job to do, and he did it. Right? He had a job to do, and he did it. His energy is never destroyed. It's merely transferred from one place to another. So Epstein is still Epstein somewhere else, but that physical body is gone. It's gone. You know what I mean? It's just a vessel. Just a vessel is gone. You know what I mean? You're coming back whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not. I mean, some of us, some of your energy will be destroyed, but only the creator decides who energy is destroyed. And I think that I understand now how that thing plays out. You know what I mean? Because I've just been, trying to make layman's sense, right? Layman's sense out of very prolific ideas, of very philosophical ideas, or you know, like mm, like how it would work in the hereafter, right? because the hereafter, all of everything is a mimicry, a mockery of something that's happening elsewhere, right? And you will be governed on everything that you do here, right? So it's like, hmm, forgot what I was. It's a war though. It's a war for your soul. You know what I mean? It's a war for your soul. It's a war for your soul. You know. That's why, this is one of my things that I believe that when the Creator told all the angels to bow and Satan didn't bow, it was because that Satan was already perfectly evil, right? So maybe in the last previous lifetime or whenever, Satan did his job perfectly, so he didn't have to bow anymore, right? He did a good job, right? So he didn't have to bow anymore. He reached a certain level where he thought that he was equal to or greater than our Creator. So he didn't bow to one of the Creator's creation, right? And this here, right, that's playing out is a chess game between our Creator and another one of the Creator's creations who believed that who got too big for their britches, basically, you know. Um, one of the Creator's creations got too big for their britches, so the Creator created another creation to allow this entity, this Satan being that we call, to test and to try to see if he can win the souls of the Creator's creation, right? But if, but one man is able to figure all this out, right? Figure out these things. I mean, many men has, right? Many men has passed this trial that the Creator allowed Satan to do on this earth, right? Many men has passed this trial, right? And once you pass that trial, right? Once you get, you know, you reach king, you reach something, you reach a different level. You know what I mean? I'm just merely here to not be one of Satan's pieces. I don't want to be a pawn, for an entity other than the Creator, right? So I don't want to be a pawn for no man, no woman, no beast. Um, shit, I don't want to be a pawn for anybody. I don't want to be just. I want to be whatever I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a chess or whatever somebody else want to make me. You know, and nobody should have that mentality to be whatever somebody else. Uh, you know, to be somebody else's chess piece. You know, Satan didn't choose a religion and possibly had his own beliefs. Something I wrote down. You know, Satan didn't choose a religion and possibly had his own beliefs. Right? It's just deep, man. You see. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. You say it now and say it loud, cause the thoughts of you are fading out and they're all gone, long gone. Do, 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 do. With every word, yeah, hey, where have you gone? It's my shit. I've been through it, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not even reading off this little, you know, tablet I got right here, right now, man. It takes a lot to obtain this type of knowledge, man. I mean, you got some who's taught, you know, then you got some who go through a lot of shit to just even try to chase this knowledge, right? Obtain this knowledge, be a seeker of knowledge, and not allow the things you learn to make you insane, to make you something that you don't want to be, man. I find myself lonely a lot of times. I do that. I do find myself being lonely a lot because I'm thinking and I'm thinking of this and that. And I mean, I'm not saying that because I want some fucking attention or something. I don't want people just coming up to me, yo, you all right? No, I'm cool. I'm cool lonely. I'm okay when I'm lonely because when I'm alone, I'm coming up with shit. I'm thinking about shit. I'm coming up with concepts and conceptualizing, coming up with literature and everything. I just need to have a better space to be lonely in, right? Like, it's okay to be alone, but if you don't got the space, the time, the opportunity, right, or the tools that you need to utilize to create something while you're alone, then what are you doing with that time? It's dead time. It's dead time, man. You're just wasting time. You alone, you ain't creating nothing, you ain't thinking about nothing new, you ain't like you just wasting time. My bad. But yeah, man, that's just how I feel about it. When you got that time alone, that's when it's your time to create, to cultivate. A lot of people, when they in their mind, when they mentally thrown off or got a mental imbalance, they allow that alone time to let it drive them crazy. They allow that alone time to let their mind wander, let them search and discover other beings to talk to and entities to talk to because they don't have another person to talk to or a girlfriend or shit, a boyfriend, whoever the fuck it is. Like some people, you need some fucking body. You need somebody to bump things off of. You got to have your own thoughts. You got to make sure that those thoughts are yours. Because if you in your mind about something, and I'm experienced about this because I've been through this. If you in your mind about something, you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, your conversation is off. Your conversation is off. You asking dumb shit. You don't know what to say next. Your conversation is just off balance. Like you shouldn't even be having a conversation with somebody when you have something that you're going through on your mind elsewhere, or when you having other like okay, you having mental distress, right? Not mental distress, but yeah, mental distress. When you talking to those voices and entities, when you hear that, you shouldn't even be having a conversation with somebody else unless it's a therapist. Cause you gonna scare the regular motherfucker. You gonna scare or make motherfuckers really think something wrong with you. And it is, but it's not that that's you. It's if you trying to get a girl and you dealing with some voices in your head, more than likely you're not gonna get the girl. Unless the voices is trying to help you get the girl. But those voices, you paying attention to that, you can't even pay attention to the conversation you having with her because you hearing this entity or this voice in your mind saying something to you. And it's throwing off your conversation that you're trying to have with a person that's actually here right now. You got to detach yourself, man. And a lot of people, especially younger people who hasn't been taught nothing without proper guidance, they don't understand that we're different beings. Even as human beings, we're different beings. We have different souls in us. We're not all the same, right? We all come from different races, cultures, and heritages and things like this for a reason. We're different spiritually. Some cultures and races and religions are more spiritual. Some are more mental, right? Some are more physical, right? That's why you got great warriors. You got great thinkers and philosophers. And then you got great spiritual gurus, right? You got people that's good with all this shit. Mathematics, science, and archery and all this type of shit. You have this. We all different beings. You got to realize that in that alone, you're different. So, you know, if you're a spiritual person, you have to you have to know what type of soul you have, and attach yourself to that and try to find a woman or somebody equally yoked, or at least try to ground yourself in that. Because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself lost out here in the world where you're more spiritual and you're dealing with more physical people or people who don't even give a fuck about spirituality at all. They're looking at you like you're a fucking weirdo, or they're using you or trampling all over you because you're thinking more of in a higher sense, right? You're thinking more spiritual, and they're thinking more linear, like what have you done for me lately, type of thing. You know what I mean? It's two people living in two different worlds interacting with each other. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. This is why you can't really have a conversation with everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody ain't meant to be talked to. Like me, I'm starting to understand. Well, I've been understood this shit, but I still will try to, entertain conversation from everybody, right? But I'm starting to understand, like, if you're not where I'm at and I'm trying to have a conversation with you, I'm not gonna be able to do it because you're not gonna understand. So it's really fucking me up trying to even talk to you, even though you may want to talk. If we're not on the same level, or if I'm not there, if I'm not on the physical level, like what's going on in the world, and you on that level where what's going on in the world, and I'm not there, there's no use for us to try to have a conversation. And you may not understand that, but I understand. Because right now I'm somewhere else in my mind and my spirit. See what I'm saying? That shit, that's how it be. A lot of people don't even know where they at. Some of them are more mental. You know what I mean? I knew this one brother, he could add up numbers like nobody's business. He was I wouldn't say he was homeless, but he was a poor brother. He used to hang out at a McDonald's and shit like this. But if you gave him any number, he would just add that shit up. But that's needless to say, he couldn't really hold the job or something. He couldn't hold the job, or he wasn't able to, really do normal things because he was somewhere else in his mind. He was more of a mental realm type of person. But he's physically here. Like he's a physical person, and he deserves that be treated with respect, right? But people would make fun of him because he was stuck somewhere in his mind. That's not his fault. Now, if he could pull himself out of that and return back to just being a normal, societal, everyday society type of person, then that'd be nice. That's fine. That's cool for some people who could do that with the help of medication or meditation. However they're able to achieve that level of get along, you know what I mean, and act accordingly, right? Because you got to act accordingly to your environment, to whatever it is. If you can't act accordingly, then something's off there. There's an imbalance. It's because you're not in the right state of mind. You know what I mean? Everybody's here in this environment, and everybody's paying attention to you, and they're paying attention to you be somewhere else in your mind. And they're looking at you like you're crazy, but for real, you just need help to escape whatever space that is or whatever entity or being has a hold on you right there. Because you're talking to them and you're entranced in this conversation. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that get entranced in that conversation that's happening in their mind with an entity or a being that they don't even know. And sometimes they may feel as if they know that being or that entity. Because, yeah, you got loved ones that pass and you'll have conversations with them in your mind, right? And I'm not saying that those conversations aren't real. But at the same time, you got to understand that it's selfish for, mm, and this is going to be hard for me to really relay, right? For a lot of people to understand, right? It's selfish for you to continue to talk to somebody that's not here physically, right? And hold up your own life progress. Because you still have to go on with life. Life still goes on. So it's selfish for you to hold on to that person so much to the point where you're talking to them in your mind, right? Okay, from time to time, yeah, you could talk to them, you can have that connection time, but it can't be all fucking day because they're not here physically to live life. They passed on. Let that spirit, let that voice, let that entity being go and live your fucking life. And don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Even on the being or the entity or the person you lost on their side is fucked up or is selfish for them to hold on to you, knowing that you got a physical life to live, but they're still in your mind, talking to you, giving you thoughts, giving you feelings, giving you emotions. It's selfish. It's very selfish to look at a person live, even though you know that the thought of you or just knowing that you're in their mind hurts that person when they gotta live everyday life. I dealt with this. That's why sometimes I might outburst and cry because you hear these loved ones that you lost. You hear these people. You hear these, and you gotta really look within yourself to really calm that down and really just maintain the sound of one voice at one time in your mind. That's your voice. That's the voice that you want to hear. Your voice. In your solitude, you don't want to be inhibited or have too many entities or beings in your mind or in your space at all because you need your voice. You need to be one with that. If you're not one with that, then how do you ultimately know if you're doing what you're supposed to do or if you're in the right state of mind? Because you can be easily manipulated by one of those other voices or entities or beings, however you want to say it, to do and purvey whatever it is they want you to do, say, even their point of view. You can take on their point of view. You know, that's dangerous because now they've effectively taken over your mind to the point where you're thinking the way that they would think. So now they're living vicariously through you. Real shit, man. A lot of entities do that, man. Just flipping through, man. You know, I've been on this podcast. I've been doing this thing for a while now, right? And I'm just starting to really rain all my information that's been flooding through me all together. Like, you know what I mean? Because I get bits and pieces of information, right? I get bits and pieces about information delivered to me, and then I research this information, and a lot of it comes out to be to stand up. When I'm putting this puzzle together, the pieces fitting, right? And you know, I'm trying to articulate it as well as possible on my podcast because it's groundbreaking for me, for one, to just have this information flooded to me and to be able to put these pieces together like that and to really just you know always have something to talk about on my podcast, man. Something new is always coming to me to talk about on my podcast. And I'm just thankful and I'm happy for that, man. And just me, just even if it wasn't on podcast, just information being flooded to me that'll help me help others. You know what I mean? Because a lot of coming into my own awareness has helped me so much, right? So I believe that the information that's being given to me, that I'm being brought to discover and to look into and to bring you on God Concept Podcast, I believe that it'll help you too discover ultimately, you know what I mean? Get a hold or reign on whatever's going on in your mind as well. A lot of people deal with this stuff. Mental issues is not just one class of people at all. You got people on so many different levels of life, in so many different, you know, avenues of life that's going through this mental illness shit. And some of them don't understand. Some of them don't understand. Some of them looking for a better understanding, a deeper understanding. You know what I mean? And it's like if I can convey that message, that'll help anybody get through, or get past whatever issue that they're having in their mind or elsewhere, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I like doing self therapy. It's very therapeutic to do this for myself. So I imagine that it would be therapeutic for somebody else to watch this as well when I'm in my right mind. Because there's been a lot of times, and I'm gonna say this on this episode of the podcast. It's been a lot of times where I've been doing my podcast and I'm hearing other beings, other entities, other in my mind. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm doing a podcast and I'm hearing this in my mind as I'm doing my podcast. It's making it hard for me to even convey the message that I'm trying to say on my podcast in real time. And it's like, man, you know, it's deep. Oh shit. Puffing on the wrong one. Oh, yes. I couldn't tell whether it was hitting or not. Yeah, I couldn't tell. Yeah, yeah, man. Shit going on all over the front. Damn. The man just DC intern gunned down. Somebody gunned down one of Trump's interns. Oh shit. Shit crazy, man. He's such no freaking nation. Yeah, man. I still don't even got uh, um a title for this episode. I'm gonna come up with something that's real good. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in and checking me out. I don't want this podcast to drag on too long. I did have places that I was trying to get to, and I just happened to stop because it's taking me a while to get there. So I just happened to just stop. Wanted to get some fresh air, sit down for a while, record my episode, and keep my day rolling. So y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for tuning in and joining me, Mr. Pagan, Mark Pagan Jr. on another episode of God Concept Podcast. Peace.